Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Bunnysays. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Minecraft. If you'll notice, I came back to town here. I came back to my base, the second base here. And I brought all my items with me, and I threw down some... I quickly made a few extra ovens here and threw the nether brick inside. Now, let me get rid of some stuff here. There's stuff I grabbed on the way over here. When I had to stop off and stuff to sleep and all that. And then that was it. I mean, I came here, and if you notice this, I don't know what the skeleton is doing. I do need some extra cobblestone, so I am going to come into my quarry here. Start doing a little digging. Let me get the sound up a little bit. That should be enough. Now, if you hear anything, it'll be very light, but I don't want it to be too loud. Please forgive me if you do hear all the sounds like the fan and the birds outside. It's very early morning. As always, I try to minimize it as much as possible, you know. It's funny, I turned my fan on, it was acting up a little bit. It's a little sticky and a little, you know, it's old, it's an old fan. And it was making these funny noises because it's sort of rotating not properly. Yeah, so it's sort of, when you first turn it on, and the things are turning around real slow. It sort of makes a wom 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 sound until it starts going fast, you know. And it suddenly started making a lot of noise, like a lot. I was like, man, I can't have that going. You can't have it making that much noise. And I was like, God, it's a little bit cool out this morning. I thought, well, maybe I'd quickly do a session while it's still early morning and it's nice and cool. You know, obviously 5 o'clock in the morning it's nice and cool. Well, that's not true. It's not always nice and cool 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's cooler enough that I could turn off the fan for an hour and then play and then hurry up and put it back on again. You know, it's like, okay, I didn't want to, but I was thinking, you know what, maybe I should just turn off the fan real quick. And so I was like, alright, obviously I can't play with this making this much noise. So I leaned over to turn the fan off, and I got up and walked over, and it's a stand-up fan. And I went to press just as I went to press the button, it suddenly stopped making the noise. You know? It was like, it just made me laugh for a second. It seemed like it was almost like, yeah, I went to press the button and the fan was like, no, it's okay. You know, I'll stop making the noise. You know, I'll stop. I swear, I promise. Don't turn me off. Then I swam back here and I started putting up the ovens, and excuse me, it's the early morning. My throat is still a little messed up. Here, I have a little, I think it's the coffee. I should know better. Coffee sort of, you drink coffee and it sort of makes your throat a little bit more phlegmy, a little bit, I guess. Because it's not like just regular water, you know. Even though it's a liquid, you know. I just really want coffee in the morning, you know. If you want a nice bit of coffee, I'd recommend like a like a little French press, and a really good cup of coffee is now, as long as you make it yourself. The thing is, you have to make it yourself. You could pick up a Starbucks coffee. You know, people make fun of it, but if you take Starbucks coffee and make it yourself, and they sort of overburn it a little bit. I think they over roast it, but that's the way. They should put way too much coffee and make it way too bitter. So what you do is you take it, you measure it out yourself, and make it the way you want. Now, not all Starbucks coffee is great, but it's probably the best kind, the best overall kind you can buy. It's called Cafe Verona. So if you want a good Starbucks coffee, buy that. It's a sort of, it's a dark roast, and it's not very sweet. It's with a little bit of sweetness to it. So it's sort of a little bit of caramel taste to it. Well, not really, but a tiny bit, like just a little bit, you know. Enough to give it a sort of a dark roast would be like, if you think of like a French roast coffee or something like that. Cafe Verona is an Italian roast, just with a tiny bit of like maple syrup flavor to it. That, like a tiny bit. So it's not like overly sweet or anything. Like it's just a tiny bit sweetened, so it doesn't taste as some of the bitterness is gone, or it doesn't have as dry a flavor as normal dark roast, like French roast, or a Italian roast is like it's like a French roast, Italian roast, and they're sort of dry. Italian roast is a little bit less dry. It's a little bit sweeter than French roast, and in Cafe Verona is a tiny bit sweeter than that. So it's sort of it's a really good coffee. It's probably the best overall coffee I've ever drank. Just as an overall coffee, you know. What you do is if you really, now you could just use a regular coffee maker and make it nice, and just, you know, do exactly what it says. Just do one scoop per cup of water. The other thing is a cup of water, a measured cup of water for coffee is considered 6 ounces. It's not 8 ounces. So people make a 12-ounce cup of coffee, a regular cup of coffee, and assume that's a 1 cup, you know. Or like they see things where it says doctors recommend you should only have, like, you know, a couple of cups of coffee a day or something. Now that means the recommended serving, which is 6 ounces. So that means 12 ounces of coffee, not, you know, not a, you know, huge cup of medium coffee or something like that. A medium, like Starbucks coffee, is like 16 ounces. How many, let's see, how many milliliters is that? That's like, let's see, 16 ounces is that's like 475. 16, so it'd be about like 350 milliliters, like around there, I believe. That's about, that's 12 ounces, so half of that, about 175 milliliters, is 6 ounces. You know, roughly. So, you measure 1 scoop of coffee per 6 ounces of water. You know, you could more or less add a tiny bit of water, maybe an extra ounce, more or less. But I wouldn't really keep it exactly the way it is. That there really is, for, well, at least for Cafe Verona, it's exactly spot on. You keep drinking it after a while, and you realize that, yeah, that's about the exact amount of water you should have. And so if you want a little more tasty, a nice thing is use a French press, which is, you know, when a French press is, it's just sort of like a big glass, like a beaker, like a chemistry beaker. Just not where it gets smaller at the top. It's just a big round beaker, and with a sort of a filter thing, you put the filter on top, and sort of a plunger, and you push down. And what you do is you just pour the coffee into the beaker and pour water into it, hot water, and then just turn around and hold on a second. And, then you put the filter on top, and you let the ground sit inside the hot water for a little bit till it cooks up. Basically, you know, a few minutes. You put it in for 3 to 5 minutes or something, and you leave it in longer, it doesn't matter, but you're pushing the filter down, and it's pushing the grounds to the bottom of the water, and as it does, it okay, you pushes it to the bottom, and you just pour the water into a cup, you know, the coffee into a cup. And the problem is that French press has, when you use it, there's all kinds of coffee left over in the filter doesn't filter the same way like a paper filter does. And what happens is you get a little bit more cobblestone, and it just doesn't, it's a metal filter, and it just doesn't filter enough of the grounds out, you know. And what happens is you get some of it in the coffee. Now, the grounds isn't what you do is you just don't drink the last like ounce of water in the cup. Now the grounds, you know, you won't die from drinking grounds or anything, but and it's usually thin too. The problem is that there's still a sort of a dust that is left over that you don't actually see, and I mean, well, you can see. It's throughout the water. It's in the water, and it's usually, you know, it's too small for you to normally see. And you think there's ground, it's just grounds, but it's not just grounds, there's that dust as well. And now so it looks like silt at the bottom of it'd be like if you had dirt at the bottom of like a lake of water or something, and you sit there, and if you swish if it's all settled down, it's on the bottom of the water, it's on the bottom of the water, but if you swished it, it'll make the water dirty, like the water will have all the sand in it, not sand, but like dirt and stuff floating around in it. So it's sort of like dirt floating around inside your coffee, like. Now the problem is, that still isn't too bad. The problem is it's that particular stuff that gives you like really high blood pressure. That particulate actually, and then it doesn't raise your high blood pressure a little bit, it raises it a lot. Like, as soon as you drink a cup of coffee, your blood pressure raises by like 1,000% or something. Now, it doesn't stay that way for a long time, but the thing is, a regular coffee machine, when you use a paper filter, it takes out like 99% of that sort of dust, and so it gets rid of it. So you think, well, why don't you just use a coffee machine and paper filter? The problem is a lot of the flavor, like a lot of real good flavor in the coffee, is in that sort of dust stuff that, like there's a little bit of oil in that, not specifically the dust, but there's an oil, very light, in coffee that gives it actually a good flavor. So the problem is like, you want the coffee with this sort of oil in it and the flavor and stuff, but for your health's sake, you sort of want to get rid of that dust, and maybe get rid of that sort of dust, So what I find is it never tastes as good as doing the regular French press, but what you can do is you make the French press coffee, you do it as normal, pour it out into a cup. And it seems like a lot of trouble. It really doesn't, and it's not as, once you've been doing it for years, it isn't, you do it sort of automatically and quick, and it's not a big problem. What you do is you take the coffee, there's a little plastic thing you can put onto a mug, and it's called like a pour over, where what you do is you put the coffee into you put a filter into this little plastic thing that holds the filter, and it's made for like 1 cup of coffee, like, where you just put the plastic thing on top of a mug, put the coffee, put a filter onto the plastic thing, a paper filter, and put coffee into it, and then you slowly pour hot water into it, and it's the same thing as if you're making it in the coffee machine, but normally you do it for like 1 cup of coffee, or like 1 mug of coffee. It's for people who like a single, live alone, or something like that, if like people in college or whatever, or if it's just, if you just want to make 1 cup of coffee and you don't want to go through the trouble of screwing around with the whole machine and everything, you just make some hot water, put a filter into the plastic thing, put it on top of your cup, then just put the coffee in there, and then pour the water on top of it, and it goes down really slow, and the water sort of, it cooks the sort of coffee sort of cooks in the hot water as it's slowly, going through the paper filter into your cup, So what I do is, now the problem is it goes sort of quick, the water will go down sort of quick, so the coffee doesn't stay in contact with the water too long, and you don't get as good you sort of get a good flavor, but you do get as good a flavor, and some people prefer it. But you won't get as much contact and as much flavor as doing the French press, where you just sit there and let the coffee sit in the water for 5 minutes or something, So, and all the nice oils and stuff, don't come into the coffee, because the water's going through the paper filter real quick, The same as a coffee machine. It's same as you're using a coffee machine, but you're doing it for 1 cup of coffee, basically. So what I do instead is I'll make the French press coffee, and then I'll take that plastic thing to put a paper filter there and pour the French pressed coffee into the filter. Now it gets rid of all the grounds and the silt left over, the particulate and the silt and stuff, and basically the dirt of the coffee. But it still has a really decent flavor. It still gets rid of most of the oil and stuff, but it still has a much better flavor than, it's sort of like halfway between using a regular machine, and French press. It's sort of a good halfway, it's a good halfway, solution, basically. So you get rid of all the stuff, and so it's not shooting your blood pressure up or anything, but at the same time, because you can't filter out all the particulate and stuff and everything, it's a tiny bit, a little, 1% of it still go through the paper, Yeah. So, you'll still get some flavor, but you're not getting other stuff coming through it in your coffee. So it comes out to, it's a good halfway solution. And it makes for a nice cup of coffee. Sort of, it makes it, and as a matter of fact, I normally put cream and stuff in my coffee, and I put a tiny bit of sugar just to get rid of a little bit of bitterness. But one of the things is I normally never drink black coffee. Normally, if I have a choice, I generally just drink it with some cream. And but if you make French press coffee, it tastes sort of funky if you put cream and stuff into it. In other words, it's sort of, so the coffee is sort of pure enough that you're like, man, it tastes sort of weird putting cream into it and stuff. You'd rather have it actually black. It's the only time I'll actually drink black coffee. Not a big black coffee drinker. I want some flavor. I like the coffee flavor, but I just heard a spider or something. Oh, it must be from outside. But normally coffee with cream is good for me, and that's all. Okay, that's enough cobblestone. Okay. Is it nighttime? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, there he is. Alright, good enough. I got plenty of... Yeah, that's plenty. This is my quarry, by the way. This is just where I came into just to rip out. There's all this granite in here. I don't know what's up with that, but okay, whatever. Okay. Get rid of some of these monsters. Alright, what's going on here? Okay, I just don't want anything exploding on me. It would just make way too much noise. Now, presumably, you could hear me fighting the monsters here. Oh. Oh yeah, I was playing the 113. I've still been playing that. And it's sort of, I just got some, strangely enough, I just got some turtles. I didn't realize there were turtles in the game. And the funny thing is you can, I get what you can do is if you have an axe or something with a silk touch on it, you can go up to the turtle, you could feed the turtles some grass. If you cut the grass with shears, grass in the water, seaweed in the water, you cut it with shears, and then you can turn around and feed it to 2 turtles, and they'll mate. And the turtles will, I had to look this up on the wiki, but the turtles will run over and back to their spawning point, the place where they originally were born. Now the game determines that, obviously, but what it will do is they'll run back, they'll swim back, and they'll lay eggs there, and they'll lay a little egg. It's sort of funny. You could use the silk touch axe to pick up the egg, otherwise the egg breaks. Yeah, I see you, zombie. And they'll lay like 1 to 4 eggs. Usually they'll lay like a couple of eggs. So what you do is you get a silk touch axe and then start sit there and there we go, and pick up the eggs. You know, it takes a long time for the eggs to hatch, but they do start turning. Well, mine hasn't hatched yet, I just got them, but they turn around and they start changing white colors and stuff. The little eggs, they're like white eggs with little green spots on them. And as they begin to sort of crack, there are 3 stages of it cracking. As it begins to crack, it will turn different colors. I mean, there'll be little brown spots on it. And put the iron, here we go. So you'll have your white egg with green spots on it. Then as it begins to crack, it'll start turning to, excuse me. It'll start turning, okay, I knew it. Little brown spots will start appearing on it. And the brown spots are supposed to be the thing cracking, you know? And as it cracks more, it'll have more and more brown spots on it, you know, till it finally turns into a little baby turtle. And so I just planted a couple. You just plant them on the ground like you would like a plant. You just throw it down like a bush, you know. And so you see a little square egg. And so I throw it down. I throw down 3 of them, and I'm 4 of them. I've been waiting for them to hatch. So I just thought that was sort of fun. The little pond I made, I deepened it a tiny bit, and made it so that the eggs will start, you know, you have to put them on sand. You have to plant them on sand. So I threw down a little bit of sand, planted the eggs. The problem is zombies and stuff like that come out at nighttime and start attacking they'll attack the eggs. So yeah, I was like, oh crap, and I had to do a bunch of stuff to get more eggs, and then I turned around and put down the eggs, and I had to put them right next to. I tried to put them close as I could to where I sleep, so that I can continuously make, hurry up and sleep and stuff, so that the zombies wouldn't appear, so that they wouldn't get to the eggs. Sort of funny, but. Because if the zombies appear closer to the eggs than to you, they'll go after you, they'll go after the eggs. Like, whichever's closer, Okay, let's continue on with our building here. Oh, I wanted the brick, that's the whole point. I guess the one thing I miss about that game is the stuff you could do in the water, The spawning has gotten crazy in this game. You used to be able to put, see that spider just appeared, right there, Wasn't there a second ago. Usually stuff doesn't spawn that close to you. Usually they'll spawn that far away, like down there, But now, you could turn around, there'll be a creeper, within 10 squares of you, You're like, what the hell? You'll do something, and just after the sun appears, just after you sleep, there'll be a little period of about an hour or something, our game hour, I've mentioned that before, and it's still happening. I mean, in the new game too, it doesn't seem to. Yeah, it happens in the new game as well, actually. Yeah, it does. I mean, in the 113. Now I think about it. Stuff doesn't spawn that far away from you. It suddenly appears behind you, like where that lava is, Unless you're moving. If you're continuously moving, it's fine. If you're in one spot. Why did I do that? I could have just did this. If you stop and stand still for a couple seconds, then suddenly that's when stuff starts appearing around you. If you're walking along like this, stuff will appear further away from you. Now, what did I want to do here? I wanted to put up... I haven't played this since last weekend. So, yeah, I wanted to put up the... Okay. Probably the only thing I miss is the water, the stuff in the water. It sort of gives you a reason to go into the water. Otherwise now the water's sort of just boring. It's just the squids in there and that's it, really. And the one thing I really missed though was the way everything looks good in this, the resource pack. but mostly the map. Man, I really find it hard to do stuff without the map. I really do. Yeah, let me do this. Okay. Is it acacia wood? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. I get some more on this acacia wood. But yeah, I really, boy, one of the things is the funny things I think is that I've been using. Let me get my axe. I've been using. You could make little books in this, and you can write in the book. I totally forgot about that. The books I trade are, I trade or make bookcases with. You can write in them. And I forgot about that. So the thing is, it's like I have these little notes. The little notes for what the towns are, in the map maker here. And I don't have to worry about coordinates. I can see the coordinates here. And in the mini map in the corner at the top at the 1 o'clock position there, I got the coordinates there. So what I have to do is I had to physically take the book and like write down the coordinates in the book, and then of where like a town is, and then make notes of what the enchantments are and stuff like that. You know, and then refer to the book all the time, you know. That just what it makes for, yeah, it just sort of slows down the entire process, you know. But, the only thing is it does give me an excuse to use the book, or write in the book. But then again, I have to carry the book around with me and stuff like that, you know. And I'm trying to think, there's a couple other things I was doing. Yeah, and the shaft mining. I have to keep on doing the shaft mining. I mean, the shaft mining, if you don't know what shaft mining is, it's like my query here, right? But, oh wow. Instead of digging straight down, instead of digging like that, right down like that, you go down to level 12, dig straight down. I use ladder. That's one thing I keep on forgetting to use in this game is ladder. You know, you make a ladder, make a ladder, dig straight down to level 12, and then just start digging straight ahead of you. You know, in any direction, you know. Start digging just straight, like, you know, you would just start digging straight like this, you know. I get down to a level 11, I'm on level 11. This will be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then you just dig straight forward, like 5 squares up and down. Then when you just feel like you've gone far enough, come out and then move over a couple squares and then dig again. And make another straight line. You keep going until you hit diamond. Until you hit some diamond, you know. That's it. It takes, you know, you might dig for half an hour before you hit some diamond. And you only get like, you know, I'll dig for an hour or something, or 2 hours. You get like, you know, and this is with the extra fortune thing on my pick. I'll get like 12 pieces of diamond or something, you know. If I'm lucky, I'll come out with like 20 pieces of diamond. That'll be like 3 or 4 hours of digging. Okay, there we go. So it's just a lot of just sitting there, just staring at the. What I've been doing is just listening to a bunch of podcasts, you know, in the background while I'm just sitting there doing stuff. Okay, what do I want to do here? Oh, I'm gonna have to put dirt on the outside here. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Oop, too high. Put up some scaffolding, that's all. Okay, now do I want the roof to overhang? Oh wait, oh wait, I was gonna make, oh okay, wait a minute. Okay, I was gonna make the roof lengthwise. Okay, I remember that. So, yeah, okay, alright. We'll go something like this. Why is it? Oh, it's because of the way I'm... Okay. There we go. Okay, let's put some dirt down here. I obviously have to have something to stand on. I can't stand in the square than putting the roof thing down. The thing is, do I want the roof to overhang a bit? I guess... yeah, I'll do there, and... Did that tree just appear? Wow. For some reason that... No, it was there before, wasn't it? Oh, God. Oh, I totally don't remember if that tree was there. Oh, that's so strange. Okay. And... Okay, let me just put this scaffolding up here and I'll jump in bed real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay. And... Alright. There we go. As long as I'm clicking on the bottom corner here. Okay. Oh, no. Too far over. Okay, and okay, I'll have to keep going. I want to keep going. Wait, will I keep going here, or... Yeah, one more square, okay. Like that. Okay. And then... Are you attacking me, or... I think he's attacking me. Why is he attacking me? It's daylight out, he shouldn't have attacked me. I do miss the swimming, the speed swimming in the game, in the 113. There is some fun water stuff. I would recommend, if you don't mind the vanilla look of the game, I would recommend 113 to, well, I'm not going to do it never until I get the map going, but, I mean, not in this game, I mean. Okay, yeah. Alright, that looks good. And, yeah, okay. Good, it's done, okay. But yeah, at any time I would recommend it, but for me it's not until I get the map going, really. I'll do this 4 and that's it. Three, 4. There we go. One of the fun things about it was the turtle and the dolphins. I just like to see life in the game. Okay. the dolphins in particular, just if you swim by them, you swim faster. So that's, to me, that's you swim real fast. Like, I had the weirdest bug happen to me. Suddenly, the game just said, the whole screen just turned black as I was in the water, and not the whole screen, half the screen, the top half of the screen turned black, the bottom half looked like this color of the water real far off, like that line here. And so it's just black and then light blue, you know, like in the bottom half of the screen was light blue like this here, and the top half was black. And it said for some reason, you're outside the world. And I was like, what? And I was in the water at the time swimming. And I just kept swimming and swimming and swimming for a while. And I was like, is this registering? What is this? What's going on? It's not, I couldn't, like, nothing was happening. I couldn't basically get out of the water. I couldn't, like, get anything to appear. No mountains were appearing. It just said I was at coordinates 0, 0. And, you know, no matter how far I went forward, it was like, that was it, you know. It's like, what's going on? So I ended up just getting out of the game, reloading the game, and then, you know, going back into it, and I was back at the spot that it originally happened. I hadn't moved at all. Do I want the roof this high? I'll see. I don't think so. I think I'll just make it this high. Okay. This is actually going to take a lot of acacia wood, I think. Okay, let's see here. Now this will be the roof like this. Now what I'll end up doing is putting on we have to stay away like this on both sides. See how it's working out here? Okay. I definitely am going to need more stairs. Yeah, at least one more set. Okay. And then for the front, I'm going to put the stairs like this. You know, I'll put them, you know, like this. Over here, I'll put it over here like that. These stairs. And I'll do the same thing on this side, you know. You know, a couple there. I'll get rid of that top set of wood blocks there. Oh, maybe I'll keep them. That's it. I mean, this is all. This is just. This whole episode was just a quiet episode. It's early and I just wanted to keep things quiet and get some stuff done. Some busy work, and I just wanted to show you what was going on. And let's see, did I do? Okay, yep. I'm going to put it on the overhang part there. I'm just going to have the roof hang over one extra square, you know. That's all. Now, same thing here again. Not too unusual. Oh, perfect. I had the perfect amount of wood there. Okay. Well, actually, I need one more piece here. That's alright. I'll get that in a second. And that's all. I just wanted a nice quiet game for you guys and just take a quiet break and I guess I need about 2 piles of these. Oh, okay. So what I'll do is I'll just finish this up here and then I'll call it a game. And I'll continue on. Oh, if you noticed, remember last game I was talking about wanting to play a new game. And you'll notice I started up a new Stardew Valley Let's Play. I hope everybody will enjoy that. I'll talk more about that next game here, but I hope everybody doesn't mind my choice. I rather enjoy Stardew Valley, so. Okay, there we go. And yeah, what I'll do is I'll put the wood up here, and then the middle part, maybe I'll make. Sorry, my hands are a bit shaky today. I'm getting a little numb lately, numbing up and having a little bit of problem with them. Yeah, my thumbs are getting a bit numb. There we go. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so, okay, yeah. Same way I need to put a ladder down here. Okay, but I was going to put the glass, I guess, up here. Yeah, they got it. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. But I won't do it now. I'll do it next time. And right now, I'll say thank you for joining me. I'm Bunnysays. I hope you don't mind. This is just a nice, quiet game. And